Welcome to Ames, Iowa for a Big 12 North Division showdown. Nebraska, number 7 in the BCS standings, looking for its 7th consecutive road win, playing at Iowa State. Cornhusker quarterback Taylor Martinez, a game-time decision. He warmed up. Don't know if he'll start. Hurt his ankle last week in the win against Missouri. If he doesn't go, we're told Cody Green, who's listed as the 3rd quarterback, started a couple of games a year ago, would be the guy under center. Now for our Big 12 Conference update, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Each team controlling its own destiny to the Big 12 title game. Nebraska 3-1 with its lone loss at home to Texas. Iowa State 3-2. The Cyclones beat Texas and last year won in Lincoln against Nebraska. Hi everybody, alongside Bob Greasy and Chris Spielman. I'm Dave Pasch, Quinn Kesnick here as well. Well guys, how important is it that Taylor Martinez plays today if you're a Nebraska fan?
Well, I was looking forward to seeing Taylor Martinez because no doubt he has been one of the big surprises in all of college football. He can run, he can throw. He was recruited as a quarterback / running back, maybe even the safety for the Cornhuskers. But now he says he's our quarterback. But you know, the other side of this coin is if he's not healthy, you do not want to play him to get him further injured and then go in the next game in the following week and not have him for the rest of the year. Better off to play Cody Green.
Bo Pelini in his 3rd season as the head man at Nebraska. The Cornhuskers not only alive for a Big 12 championship, but still a chance with one loss to perhaps play for the BCS championship. But as mentioned a year ago, Nebraska lost at home to Iowa State, turned it over 8 times in that game. And already this year they've put it on the ground 26 times. Of course, having lost all of those fumbles. And turnover margin will be a key today as Nebraska goes for the win in Ames as the Huskers take the field. State a win away from being bowl eligible. The Cyclones won the Insight Bowl a year ago. Well, Chris, as you look at Austin Arnaud, what do you think is key for him, the Iowa State quarterback today?
Well, he's starting over 30-plus games in his career, and it's been a career of inconsistency. If he's going to be any good and the offense is going to be any good and the Cyclones have any chance, he's got to play his best game of his career today against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. He's certainly capable of doing it. He can throw it. He can run it. He just has to make good decisions. If he makes good decisions, then he'll be a star.
Another star is Roy Helu Jr., who last week ran for 307 yards, a Nebraska record. He looks to keep it going at Ames next. A cool, windy day in Ames as Iowa State takes on number 7 Nebraska at Jack Trice Stadium. Bob Greasy, Chris Spielman, I'm Dave Pasch. Quinn Kesnick now down on the field.
Dave, for once a game-time decision is really a game-time decision. And watching Nebraska quarterbacks warm up, I don't want to speculate, but Taylor Martinez comes out early, throws the ball well, but at no time during that warm-up period did Taylor Martinez test his right ankle out running-wise. We expect to see Cody Green, a true dual threat. Talking to Sean Watson, he said the only thing that changes is the home run potential off the zone read game.
Well, Bo Pelini will have a little time to think about it because Nebraska's kicking off. They deferred. Last week, one of the captains accidentally, he meant to say defer, but he said kick, so Nebraska kicked off both halves. Didn't really matter. They smoked Missouri a week ago. And kicking with a wind at his back, Kanalik boots it through the end zone, and Iowa State will start from the 20.
Dave, just a quick point on how it can change the game plan for Nebraska. It changes the game plan for the Cyclone defense. Wally Berman had 2 guys committed defensively when Taylor Martinez is in the game. So that's something to look forward when Nebraska does get the football, how Wally Burnham, the defensive coordinator, changes his plan.
Arnaud, a senior from Ames, 10 touchdowns, 8 interceptions on the year. Here's the running back, Alexander Robinson, coming off back-to-back 100-yard rushing games. reaches the 25. So he picks up 5 on 1st and 10. See the numbers for Arnaud. His dad played defensive back at Iowa State. Arnaud did not play a year ago at Nebraska because of an injured hand. Yet Iowa State still won that game 9-7. Arnaud to throw as he gets it away, and a nice catch for a first down at the 31 by Darius Reynolds.
I find it very surprising that a kid that is in his 5th year, Austin Arnaud, has started 35 games, is someone that is still so inconsistent, Chris, throughout the ball games. I know he's got nerves and all this stuff. He just can't settle himself down going into ball games.
And a quick throw out on the flat here, and running room for Darius Darks. And a good first 3 plays for Iowa State, a gain of 6 there.
Well, one thing to do to settle down a quarterback that has a tendency to succumb to nerves is throw some short passes, let him get the confidence, and that appears to be the game plan of the Cyclones. And Carl Pelini is dialing up a couple blitzes, testing him to see if he can get the reads.
That's Bo's brother, Carl, who's the defensive coordinator. Arnaud taking off and picking up the first down.
That's a way to settle the nerves, is go down there and get hit a few times.
Gain of 11 for Arnaud. Here are the guys he'll throw to and hand it off to. Robinson, we've already seen him run once. Reynolds has a catch. Jake Williams has been one of Arnaud's go-to guys. Colin Franklin, a very solid tight end. Ben Lamach is the anchor up front. He did not play last week in a win against Kansas because of a knee injury, but Lamach is back. Their best offensive lineman is probably Osimile, the left tackle, 2nd team All Big 12 a year ago. And here's an end around, and looking to throw is Reynolds, and instead he's trampled back at the 39-yard line. Prince Amukamara, one of the top defensive players in college football.
Well, we saw them run this in practice on Thursday, and he was a quarterback. Darius was a quarterback in junior college. They had it set up. Problem is, Nebraska had the corner blitz with Prince on.
Yes, he just kept coming, kept following the receiver, and he got a sack.
So a 9-yard loss. Amukamara, a senior from Glendale, Arizona. Mel Kiper has him as a top 5 pick in the 2011 NFL Draft. Arnaud throwing into traffic, and it's caught at midfield by Darks. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and about 8. Take a look at that Nebraska defense. A year ago was #1 in the nation in total defense. They're 19th this year. Again, no one Dominican Sue. Steinkühler replacing him. David and Compton at linebacker. We'll see about 25 guys on defense rotate in and out throughout the day. Ciante Evans, a true freshman, starting at corner for the 2nd straight game for the Huskers. First 3rd down of this drive for Iowa State. It's 3rd down and 8. And Arnaud being chased, gets rid of the pass, incomplete. Jared Crick was tracking him down from behind, and Iowa State will punt the ball.
Nebraska on a blitz, Chris. If the quarterback could have gotten outside, there was a lot of room to run because everybody was inside blitzing.
Well, you see the athleticism of big Jared Crick laying out and just getting Arnaud. He wasn't looking to run. I think if he would have tucked it to go, Bob, he would have had the first down as opposed to looking downfield to complete the pass.
True freshman Kirby Vanderkamp to punt into the wind, and you can see it get hung up there, but it takes an Iowa State bounce at 20. So Taylor Martinez will not start the game. It'll be Cody Green, who started twice last year as a true freshman. He was actually more highly recruited than Martinez. They were the same class. Bo Pelini decided to redshirt Martinez and play Cody Green. Martinez with an ankle injury, suffered last week. Don't know if he'll even be available today, but one thing's for sure, Cody Green making his 3rd start of his career. They won the starts last year, Baylor and Oklahoma. And the Baylor game was after the loss to Iowa State when Nebraska turned it over 8 times. Here's Roy Helu Jr. out to the 21, coming off that 307-yard effort a week ago.
It's a pretty nice situation when Bo Pelini can sit down a starting quarterback that is injured and go to a guy that's started the ball game before, your 3rd string quarterback.
Keith Williams, the left guard, shaken up. Well, we were talking with some of the Nebraska officials before the game, and they say this has been a long time since they've had this kind of depth at quarterback at Nebraska. You also have Zach Lee, but his arm is sore, and that's a reason why Lee is not playing. And Martinez out right now anyway because of the ankle. Back in a moment. Senior left guard Keith Williams shaken up, so true freshman Andrew Rodriguez in the game as Nebraska has a 2nd and 8 from its 21-yard line. Cody Green, the sophomore quarterback, thrown 12 passes and run the ball 15 times this year. He dumps it off here to Kyler Reed, the backup tight end. And it's a Nebraska first down of the 34 as we check in with Quinn.
Guys, 2 things about Cody Green. First of all, talking to Sean Watson, he said this week in practice, because of the injuries to Taylor Martinez and Zach Lee has a sore arm, Green got the majority of the quality reps. I asked him what would change with Green in the game. He said very, very little, except a couple of their zone read plays will actually be called handoffs. So they're taking the read option out of Green's hand.
Now they're going to the Wildcat formation with Burkhead.
And Burkhead will take off and find a running lane to the 40, so that's about 6 on the ground on that play.
And just to follow up, the Cyclone defense, led by Wally Berman, the defensive coordinator, had a plan for Martinez. That plan was you were going to have a defensive end and a safety assigned to Martinez each and every play. Well, that goes out the window, and probably a benefit for the Cyclone defense because now they can free one guy up on the zone read option.
Penalty flag down. Some sort of substitution penalty, perhaps.
12 men in the huddle. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Unforced error there by Nebraska. So it'll be 2nd and 9 at the Nebraska 35.
We're talking about that spread option, and normally the spread option is read off the defensive end, which would be right here. And the plan was to have 2 guys, safety and defensive end, in charge of Taylor Martinez. Well, if Cody Green is not a threat, you only put 1 guy in charge of him.
And Green get a pass with time, overthrows his man. He was trying for Niles Paul, and Trice, is that nerves or is that the wind?
That's the wind. You don't understand how strong this wind is. And you would think, well, having the wind to your back would be an advantage. Well, it is in a way, but in some other ways, it can just carry the ball much further than you're trying to throw it.
And that was also Rumpelhammer working on Rodriguez, the true freshman guard, number 63. He's got a man up here, get tough. No longer true freshman.
Green steps up, his arm hit. Ball loose, and Green recovers. Jacob Latimer got pressure and knocked the ball out of Green's arms. Nebraska will punt.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of different Nebraska offense. Right now it comes around, knocks the ball loose. That's a fumble. Right back to Green. Yeah, his arm was not coming forward. It's a fumble. Forced to punt with the win.
And this thing just takes off and fielded at the 5 by Josh Lenz. And he shakes 1 tackle before he's brought down at the 14. Levante David with the special teams tackle. Iowa State will take over after a 68-yard punt. Welcome back to Ames, Iowa. Iowa State and Nebraska scoreless. Huge game for the Cornhuskers as they're trying to keep their hopes alive of a BCS championship. And hey, Iowa State not out of the Big 12 championship race. Cyclones looking to get bowl eligible for the 2nd straight year. What a job Paul Rhodes has done with his program. Alexander Robinson, the ball carrier, picks up about 3. Jared Crick on the stop. Remember, Gene Chizik was the coach at Iowa State. They went 5-19. And in 2008, while Chizik was here, Rhodes was the defensive coordinator at Auburn. Chizik gets the head job at Auburn. Rhodes takes the gig here. Robinson again, looking for a crease. Good run, got the first down. Go to our Times Square studio now in New York and check in with Robert Flores.
All right, Taco Bell studio update. Joe Paterno looking for career win number 400, but Northwestern scores first at Happy Valley. Dan Persa, the 6-yard run. Wildcats up 7-0. Meantime, Alabama and LSU scoreless early in the first quarter in Baton Rouge.
And here, no score. Arnaud to throw. Robert, going to take off. Saw nothing downfield, so made a good decision and picked up about 7 yards.
He seems confident. We talked to him yesterday, and to me, he seemed relaxed. Maybe because he's newly engaged.
He's getting married.
That helps him.
In June.
It helped
right?
me. Yeah.
His mom is a Hall of Fame volleyball player here at Iowa State. We mentioned earlier that Austin's dad played defensive back here in Ames. Maybe Arnaud's biggest game as a collegiate, certainly here at home. He did not play because of injury in the win at Nebraska a year ago. Arnaud slings it out to Darius Reynolds for another Cyclone first down.
Bob, is it more difficult to throw into the wind or with the wind?
Yeah, I think it's obviously more difficult to throw into the wind, especially if you don't have a strong arm. And different types of passes are more difficult. The longer passes down the sideline, I think, are the most difficult.
4 first downs already for Iowa State. Robinson trying to get outside, can't against that speedy Nebraska defense. DeJon Gomes and Levante David track down the running back. Saturday night football continues with a Pac-10 showdown tonight. Andrew Luck and Stanford taking on Arizona. Big one of the Pac-10. Some of you will see Missouri and Texas Tech. Go to ESPN.com and search maps to see where you can find your game. And that was a shootout last year, Stanford and Arizona. 3-yard loss for Robinson, so 2nd and 12. Arnaud throws, but there was a flag because Williams was getting held on the near sideline by Osborne.
This is a lack of discipline right here. Courtney Osborne has great position. They see the corner blitz coming. Courtney Osborne rolls up from his safety position to cover the wide receiver, and he's in position, but he's sitting there getting in a hand fight. And that's a good recognition.
Number 12 in the defense. It is first down.
By Austin Arnaud to throw the ball, seeing that you see Osborne sitting here getting in a hand fight. Now let him go. You got him. He's covered. And you're still fighting and you're pushing him out. Makes no sense.
17, Evans is the corner blitzer. Did a nice job of jumping and getting in his face, making it a difficult throw.
So first down at midfield. This is where Iowa State's first drive stalled. And a handoff to Robinson goes for only 2. Steinkuhler plugging the hole for Nebraska along with Pierre Allen. Opelini in his 3rd season. Got Nebraska 7th in the BCS. They jumped 7 spots from last week. First time the Huskers have been 7-1 on the year since 2003.
Bo very much involved in calling the defenses for the Cornhuskers.
Along with brother Carr. There's Robinson, a gap on the outside, but again, out of speed. Deontay Evans pushing him out of bounds. Let's take a look at this week's BCS standings brought to you by Vizio. Oregon back at number 1. Auburn is 2nd. TCU jumping Boise State, and they got a big one. The Horned Frogs playing Utah. Wisconsin survived today. Oh, wow, they were in a fight with Purdue down at halftime, but they came back to win going away. They also got Alabama, LSU. That's a big one in the SEC. Arnaud inside the 40 and to the 35-yard line. On 3rd and 1, he gets 6 against a very good Nebraska defense.
Well, Alexander Robinson, A-Rob, throws a nice block out here to Spring. Small guy in stature, but very tough kid. Watch the lead block that he's going to throw for Arnaud to get the first down. Right there, just good enough to turn him outside, and good vision by Arnaud to turn up inside and get the given yards for the first down.
Jeff Woody, Robinson's backup, is in the game at running back. And Arnott faked it to him, reading the defense. He put the ball on the ground and it's picked up. It's grabbed by Ciante Evans. Inside the 20. Evans inside the 5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Meanwhile, Arnott is down. There's also a penalty flag at the 20-yard line. And was Arnott down before the ball came out?
And it seems like Arnott is hurt as well. It looked to me like the ball, and he was down before the ball came out.
Well, it's coming back anyway because of the penalty, but it may still be Iowa State football. But will we see another backup quarterback? All right, so the ruling is a penalty on Nebraska, but a fumble recovery by the Cornhuskers, so no points, but they'll have the ball. Of course, every play reviewed in college football, and you'd think they'd take a long look at this one to see whether Arnott was down before the ball came out. And his knee is down. He still has the ball in his hand. I mean, that's obvious right there, but look at his right knee as he got bent back.
You'll see the right knee make contact. It's a good job by Gomes stripping that ball out of there.
And he was down.
Yeah, see, that's where a quarterback needs to go down. He got you a big defensive lineman, an angry guy has got you. Go down, give it up, and take care of yourself. Still has the football.
Got to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the ruling on the field.
You can see right there Iowa State's offense is huddled on the sidelines in anticipation that they will get the ball back.
And so they're going to review it. If Arnott cannot go, Jerome Tiller is the backup. And guess when his first start was? Last year at Nebraska, when Arnott could not play because of a hand injury. So no points for Nebraska. Right now it's Cornhusker ball, but the ruling might be overturned. Back in a moment. They're taking the right ankle of Austin Arnott. The good news for him is that it's still Cyclone football. They've overturned the ruling on the field of fumble and Nebraska recovery.
You see clearly his right knee goes down, and watch his foot get bent behind. You always worry about the knee in that situation, but a lot of times it's the ankle that gets turned wrong. Coach Rhodes, I'll help you all out. You can't hear the referee's mic? I'll give you the hand signals.
Well, he does not need anything to go bad. He needs turnovers on his side, going his way, not going the other way. Nebraska doesn't need any help scoring touchdowns off of turnovers.
Well, that's a good sign there that Arnott is at least able to walk. Meanwhile, Jerome Tiller, who's played in 4 games this year and last year won on the road through the game-winning touchdown pass in Lincoln, comes into the game for Iowa State at quarterback.
Talking to Coach Herman, Tom Herman, the offensive coordinator, and that man, Paul Rhodes, about Tiller. They really like him, and they just want to see him come a little bit more committed to being the best he can be. He certainly has a lot of talent.
The officials right now are not sure where to spot the ball, and so they're looking again. They got to figure out how much time's on the clock and where Arnott went down. Right now it's spotted at the 40-yard line, but you can see there it's the 35.
A lot of times this is why these reviews take so long, not to decide whether the ball was out, but to decide exactly where to place it.
Yeah, especially after a call has been overturned, how much time is on the clock and where the ball is. So let's see, he's down at the 35, and it looks like 5:27 on the clock.
Well, this delay also gives that man a chance to recover and move around and get his ankle loosened up. Now, they did what they call a spat job, where you spat over the shoe. And that's to make that as stiff as possible so that ankle moves as little as possible.
You had that done before, Chris?
1,000 times.
And as far as the quarterback is concerned, when you have an ankle sprain like that, it's very similar to what Taylor Martinez has on the other side of the field that allowed him not to play. You're not going to be able to move as well. You're not going to be able to run as well.
The runner was down. It'll be Iowa State's ball, second down.
And they put the ball at the 30. Well, no, they still got it at the 40. I think they're waiting for the referee, Greg Burks, to come back and tell them where to place the ball. It was the 35.
They get it right now. See, the fans were letting them know. They started to put the ball down, and they're boo, boo. They fixed it. Wise crowd here in Ames, Iowa.
That's big for Iowa State, because it would have been Nebraska football. And this has been another good drive for the Cyclones. Approaching the 5-minute mark. First snap for Jerome Tiller today at quarterback, the sophomore. And he's going to hand it off, and Robinson with a big hole off the right side. Guys, what's going on here with Iowa State's offensive line against Nebraska's defensive line?
Well, I think the first thing is they're playing at home, so they got some good home cooking. And the second thing is their offensive line is a pretty good offensive line.
And Nebraska came out in a dime defense at 6 defensive backs, which they just substituted now, and that's easier to run on as opposed to a 4-2-5, which Bo normally likes to run. Try to put those defensive backs as linebackers. Bad things happen, man.
Play clock down to 5 on 3rd and 3. Robinson bounces it to the outside and gets stood up right at the first down marker. Pierre Allen on the stop, and it looks like they're going to give him a first down. He stretched the ball out before he went down, and it's a first down for Iowa State. And Arnaud's coming back in for the Cyclones at quarterback.
Just there at the end, you could see him. It looked like he was laying on a player, which you're not down, and he just reached the ball forward. Arnaud back in the ball game.
12th play of the drive as Arnaud is back out there from the Nebraska 25, 1st and 10. 48 yards on the ground for Iowa State already. Here's Woody, and he fumbles it, and Nebraska's got it. Pierre Allen recovers the fumble forced by Jared Crick.
That's one thing if you're Iowa State. The obvious statement of the day is you can't turn the ball over. Bob made it, I'm making it. Because if you're limited offensively in what you do as far as throwing the game, you cannot fumble the football when you are possessing the ball on the ground and doing a good job. And first of all, Woody misses the hole on the cut back side. And Crick doing a good job of wrapping his arms. Upon wrapping his arms, knocks the ball out.
Only the 12th turnover by the Cyclones all year. They've been pretty good in taking it away and not giving it up.
Nebraska back on offense. Here's the quarterback, Cody Green, and he gets drilled at the 25-yard line. Gain of 4 on first down. So Green starting for the injured Taylor Martinez. Roy Helu Jr. last week at 307 yards, a school record for Nebraska. Niles Paul and Brandon Kinney, the starting receiver. Nebraska leads the nation in yards per carry. Big reason why these 5 guys, 2 seniors, Williams and Henry, but Williams was shaken up earlier in the game, and Andrew Rodriguez, a true freshman, in the game at left guard. And now it looks like Green shaken up a bit.
I think that's why they took the timeout, Dave. He came over to those sidelines limping. Looked like his right leg was bothering him.
Well, here's the
who's
thing.
next?
And after the you got Martinez hurt. Zach Lee's arm is sore, so it'd be senior LaTravis Washington, who was a high school quarterback but played some linebacker. They're going to get Martinez though in the ball game here.
They tried to get through the game without Taylor Martinez, and I think that was a smart move. You had an injured ankle coming in. Don't get him hurt anymore. Let him rest this ball game.
They're going to have to call timeout here. The play clock's at 4. So timeout Nebraska. Taylor Martinez in the game for the Huskers when we come back. So Cody Green, who began the day 3rd on the depth chart, but starting the game at quarterback, now banged up after this hit along the sideline.
Yeah, that's helmet to helmet. He's hearing some birdies right now, Chris.
Yeah. So Leonard Johnson.
Yep. And on the direct snap to Burkhead, he picks up the first down. And he's still going, spinning out of a tackle. So they line up Taylor Martinez, I guess, as a decoy wide. And that allows Green to get a breather. Now he's coming back in at quarterback.
Burkhead is the backup running back. So he took a wildcat snap, direct snap from center, and took off. Martinez is at the top of the screen.
A big gain for Burkhead. .29-yard pickup, and Green back in there at quarterback, but they go the same formation. Burkhead as the wildcat quarterback, and Green at the top of your screen. And Hellu Jr. runs to the 40, so a gain of 6 before David Sims makes the tackle.
Again, this is something that they're comfortable with. It's kind of protecting your quarterbacks. Now you have Green lined up out wide and letting Burkhead run the wildcat. It's something very, very comfortable with. Burkhead was a high school quarterback, so he's comfortable taking those snaps. Again, Green going to the top of your screen.
And Burkhead, the wildcat quarterback, gonna take off here down the middle of the field. And right at the first down marker, Jacob Latimer makes the tackle at the 36.
Real quick now, the point we made about how Wally Burnham, the defensive coordinator, had 2 defenders for Martinez on the spread option. Now you got to go back to that game plan and reinstitute the 2 defenders to take Burkhead, who's running the quarterback position, and running the option from that position.
They're going to measure here to see if Nebraska got the first down. He's short. So 3rd down and inches for Bo Pelini and company.
I would say this is a 2-down situation, wouldn't you, Chris?
Absolutely.
Although,
there's Taylor, he's having fun.
In warm-ups, because the wind is moving right to left, Nebraska kicker Alex Henry had plenty of leg from 60 yards. Right here, it'd be about a 50-yarder. That should be about 55 or so. 3rd and inches. Green, the quarterback. And on the sneak, he picks up the first down.
You know, one thing I never understood in the 3rd and inches, and you see a quarterback that's normally in a shotgun under center, you anticipate sneak. So you have to put somebody over the center or in the 2 A gaps. That's the gaps between the center and the 2 guards for that sneak. And they had that bubble open. They had a wide open space right over the center. Easy to execute the quarterback sneak against that look.
Can you leave it open and slant some guys into that gap?
Yeah, if you hit it on time. They were late. They tried to do that, but they were late.
Green hands off to Hellu, and he's wrapped up at the 31 and now pushing and shoving after the play, but no flag. Let's go back to New York and our Times Square studios and Robert Flores.
All right, Dave, New York Life studio update. Undefeated Boise State taking on Hawaii. Jeremy Avery, good block right there. He scoots into the end zone, 14-yard score. They went for 2 and missed, so they lead 6-0 at the end of 1. Undefeated TCU leads undefeated Utah 7-0 late first quarter.
How about Boise State going for 2 on the first score of the game?
Well, that's how they roll.
Didn't work. Maybe it'll cost them today. Here's Hellu, left side. And he gets dumped just short of the first down marker. Matt Morton on the stop. Parker making the tackle. So 3rd down and inches again for Nebraska.
I'd be surprised to see if Nebraska throws the ball double digits today. I think it's old-fashioned football. Line up and find out who's tougher.
Strong wind. They don't want to fuss with that. But strong wind doesn't bother the running game.
Also injuries at quarterback, although Green seems to be all right now that he's back out there after getting a helmet-to-helmet hit. Burkhead picks up the first down at the 22. 1 quarter in the books in Ames. No score between number 7 Nebraska and Iowa State. Back in Ames, Iowa. Chilly, windy day where Nebraska and Iowa State are going toe-to-toe. No score after 1. 9th play of the drive for Nebraska. The previous 8 plays, all running plays, including 4 from the Wildcat position. And that's the formation they have here with Burkhead in at quarterback, and he takes off Brought down inside the 20. The 18-yard line. Gain of 4. Taking a look now at our Pacific Life game summary. Iowa State moved the football in that first quarter, but a costly turnover. They possessed the ball for about 9 of the 15 minutes.
You get the feeling that the Wildcat was a big part of this week's game plan by the Cornhuskers, knowing that Taylor Martinez was nicked up and Zach Lee was nicked up.
And Cody Green got banged up late in the first quarter, and Burkhead's been doing most of the work now at quarterback. Great job to keep his balance there and reach the 10-yard line. Tackle made by Latimer. It'll be 1st and goal, Cornhuskers. There is a flag down, though.
This is the 15th play that Nebraska has run, and I think that Burkhead has probably had at least half of them at quarterback from the Wildcat or the shotgun formation.
And no penalty on the play. 1st and goal, and same formation. Burkhead in at quarterback. Cody Green at the bottom of your screen. And Burkhead trying to find a hole, and this time no running room. Look at him push the pile, though. He picked up 3 yards. He should have got maybe 1. Keith Williams helping out there. He's back in after getting injured in the first quarter, the left guard.
Yeah, you had about 8 guys pushing that pile. Reminded me of the rugby scrum. Just keep moving and driving the legs, and that's one thing that I think you look at this offensive line at Nebraska. They take a ton of pride in moving the people, and they do a good job, and they're starting to get to the second level of defenders of the Cyclones. That's why you're seeing Burkhead get in there 5 or 6 yards before he's touched.
Again, the Wildcat. And another running play. Hello! Touchdown, Nebraska! A lot of Nebraska fans here in Ames, and they're celebrating as Hello gets his 9th rushing touchdown of the year.
But when your top 3 quarterbacks are hurt, just put a running back in there. He can play quarterback from one running back to the other. The first touchdown of the game.
12 plays, all runs on that drive by Nebraska. Now Henry on for the point after. So Nebraska capitalizes on the Iowa State turnover, literally runs down the field and scores. Nebraska strikes first as the Cornhuskers 7th in the BCS standings. Games remaining against Kansas and Colorado, 2 teams without a Big 12 win, and also at Texas A&M, so still a shot for Nebraska to play for the BCS title. And how about Rex Burkhead, the Wildcat quarterback, running 7 times on that drive?
The most impressive thing were not his runs, it was the reads that he was making. You have to read the defensive end, and every read was perfect.
Canala kicking into the wind, and David Sims will take it for Iowa State. And he gets stoned at the 25-yard line. Let's look back at our Chick-fil-A drive recap. 12 plays, all runs by Nebraska. Who needs a quarterback right now if you're the Husker?
Well, this kid was a quarterback in high school, as we mentioned, but he is a running back now. He hasn't thrown any passes. And he hands it to his running mate, Hello. And here they go again. Give it to Hello and 6 points.
That's what we were talking about, the read in the defensive end, made the proper read, and Lou pays off.
Alexander Robinson breaks a tackle. He's a dangerous back, and he's got the Iowa State first down. Picked up about 15. Robinson coming off back-to-back 100-yard games, including a $120 and 2 scores in the win at Texas. A Nebraska defensive back shaken up. It's Dejon Gomes.
We had a chance to talk with A-Rob yesterday, as he likes to be called. Very impressive kid, and you sensed the sense of urgency in his eyes, understanding that this is a huge game and really aware of the position that Iowa State's in. They're still in control of their own destiny, so they know how big this game is. Senior kid, tough kid, giving everything he has today. Outstanding effort by A-Rob.
Nice kid, too, Robinson.
So they continue to look at Gomes. Nebraska up 7-0, and that was after a turnover by Iowa State. The Cyclones were in the middle of a 12-play drive of their own, but coughed it up. Nebraska capitalized and leads 7-0. Welcome back to Ames, Iowa. We're in Nebraska, 7th in the BCS standings. On top 7-0 and number 7, Dijon Gomes, shaken up on the last play for the Cornhuskers. Seen several guys go down for Nebraska so far in this game, but each has returned. Meanwhile, Iowa State, first down in the backfield. Robinson had nowhere to run. Steinkühler in there for Nebraska.
We talk about the strength of this Nebraska defense, and you look at their pass defense, is #1 in the country in a lot of areas. And a lot of that is based on the 4 guys up front. Outstanding against the run, and they don't have to blitz to get pressure. They can just get pressure with 4, which allows them more guys in the back end.
1-yard setback, 2nd and 11. Arnaud to pass, and Robinson on the catch, and he gets thrown down immediately by Levante David. Gain of a couple, 3rd and long coming up.
Good coverage by David, inside linebacker, a junior college transfer to Nebraska this year, and one of the leaders. And we talked to him on the phone the other day, and he was a bright kid. He really talked about leading this team and was enjoying being in Nebraska.
Big 3rd down here with Nebraska getting momentum after that lengthy touchdown drive. Arnaud with time. Robinson out of the backfield. Going to be short of the 1st down. Austin Cassidy on the stop. You're Iowa State. What do you do, guys?
I think you punt the football.
Yeah, we don't want to take any chances here.
You got to execute the punt, though. You got a true freshman punter. What I mean by that, he's got to allow for the win, so you give your defense a chance and back Nebraska up and give yourself a chance as far as field position goes.
Saw Ben Lamach a little shaken up. He is the starting center for Iowa State. Did not play a week ago because of a knee injury. Burkhead is the return man. And it's fair caught at the 5.
Helped him out.
Yeah, dangerous there. Usually right inside the 10. If you think it's inside the 10, you don't field it. But he did. And it'll,
especially with the wind at your back.
Yeah, so Nebraska will start at the 5. Well, guys, if Nebraska is just going to run the ball each play, how do you adjust if you're Iowa State defensively?
Hey, with the wind blowing 25, 30 miles per hour, Nebraska's offense is the ideal offense. Run the ball.
What do you do if you're Iowa State?
I just put 9 guys up within 8 yards of the line of scrimmage. I have 2 guys on Burkhead if they continue in the Wildcat, and that's it. And you have 8 other guys running the football. It's not a mystery to what Nebraska's doing. You have a game plan, execute it, and make them throw the ball. They don't. I mean, I don't know if they can throw it. Cody Green launched a couple over guys' heads.
Yeah, they've only thrown it twice. And remember, Green has bell rung earlier in the contest. Here they just try to give themselves some breathing room, and they run straight ahead for about 2 or 3 yards.
It's good to see Cody back in the ball game.
2 starts a year ago for Green. He's not played the last 3 games this year. Taylor Martinez got hurt last week against Missouri, and Zach Lee came in the ball game, but his throwing arm is sore, so we don't even know if Lee's available.
Here's what I'm talking about, the box right here, from here to here. I'd bring everybody up inside to defend against that, but that's only when Burkhead is the Wildcat quarterback.
Here's Green taking off, and Chris, they had 10 guys in the box it looked like there, and Green still got close to the 1st down.
And it's clear and evident of what Nebraska's going to do. And it's demoralizing for a defense when you know what they're doing and they're still able to do it.
Well, they're Nebraska, so they're going to run the ball most of the time, but especially into this wind. They're going into the wind the 2nd and 3rd quarters. They'll be into the wind next quarter also, so they're just going to run the ball even more.
And some movement up front by Nebraska.
False start. Number 73, the offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Super speed, super strength, even a super brain. No, we're not talking about Chris Spielman. They can't protect you from suspicious minds or your in-laws. ABC's No Ordinary Family, all new Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on ABC.
You don't have to take that from him, partner.
Well, he was 0 for 3. That's
you and I can gang up on him. You know?
So 3rd and 6. If you're Nebraska, you haven't thrown it in, what, a quarter. Do you do it here?
No, you can throw it if it's a short, safe pass.
Well, they're going with Burkhead at quarterback in the Wildcat.
And that's why all these guys should be right in here watching Burkhead, right on that box.
Here's Halou, and he's cut down at the 15-yard line, short of the first down marker, so Nebraska has to punt.
Yeah, if you're Bo Pelini and Nebraska, you do not want to help Iowa State get back in this ball game. You know, punt it away. Don't give it to them on the turnover on the 15-yard line.
That goes to the execution of the fair catch, knowing where you are, where Burkhead helped Iowa State in that possession.
Remember, too, here, guys, Henry's punting into the wind. His first punt went 68 yards, but that was going the other way with the wind at his back. That's actually a pretty good punt considering. And fair caught by Lenz. Iowa State, though, will have the ball in Nebraska territory when we come back to Ames. Back at Iowa State, a big game for the Cyclones trying to get bowl eligible. They trail 7-0. But starting this drive in Nebraska territory at the 47-yard line. Each team with 106 yards total offense, so Iowa State's been able to move the ball, but -1 in the turnover category. And that's the difference so far in the game. Austin Arnaud, who was shaken up in the first quarter, has been back. And their quarterback now for a couple series. Robinson getting to the outside, picks up close to 9. Let's check in with Quint Kestic down on the field.
Guys, in our discussions with Paul Rhodes this week, he kind of formulated the anatomy of an upset. He said, number one, we got to keep it close. Keep in mind, this is an Iowa State program that's been dusted by top competition so far this year.
Back to you in a moment, Quint. Go ahead as Alexander Robinson picks up the first down.
He said it was really important that we keep this game close, keep it a one-score game to give our guys hope, to keep the fans involved. He said also no big plays from Nebraska, and then field position. And right now they have great field position and the wind.
Robinson leveled by Levante David. A minimal gain on first down.
And they have different speeds of offense, right, Grease?
Yeah, they've got the jet, and then they've got the jet check, which is just a fake jet. Jet is when we get up there and we really go quickly. And the jet check is when we get up there and we act like we're going to go, and then we don't go, and we just look over the sideline and have the coaches call a new play.
You didn't have that in your day.
No, I didn't.
You never looked over the sidelines.
Arnaud, open man down the middle of the field. First down. Darius Dorks to the 15-yard line. A 17-yard pass play for Iowa State.
That's an outstanding read by Austin Arnaud. They'll have a high route right there. You see the low route to Darius Reynolds underneath. It's a good read, or Darius Dark, excuse me.
That's the fast jet.
Down.
That's the fast jet that we got us caught in that replay.
But you saw Ciante Evans, the corner there, fall down for Nebraska on that replay. We have not seen Iowa State throw it Amukamara at all.
Substitution on the defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Now you can have substitution to offsides.
Yeah, Iowa State in that hurry-up offense, that's one of the benefits of it, is you run a play at the line of scrimmage and you catch the defense substituting players.
Paul Rhodes is helping them see that, right, Dave?
I think he's upset that they blew the whistle there and stopped play. The clock was running.
Yeah.
He's saying, why'd you blow the whistle?
I wonder if they stopped to play an illegal substitution if the man is behind the line of scrimmage on the other side of the ball. That's probably why they stopped it, as opposed to having 12 on your own side of the line of scrimmage.
So first down and 5. Arnaud takes off and close to the first down. Cassidy picks him up and dumps him, and it is a first down. So first and goal for Iowa State. They're going with jet again.
You see Nebraska looking over the sidelines, looking for a call, and their defensive line is standing up.
Robinson gets 2. Crick on the stop for the Huskers, so second and goal from the 3.
They keep running the jet.
No way that Nebraska can substitute here. Too far to go.
Arnaud hands off. Robinson dives, and he's short of the end zone. There is a penalty marker down.
This is a killer. This is going to be holding.
Holding. Number 79 in the offense. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
It's on the right tackle, Braden Burris. It'll remain second down, but move Iowa State back 10 yards.
Well, you're on the 1-yard line, and you want to do this.
this is precious ground down here. This is tough ground to get.
Is that a hold?
It looked like he tackled him from behind. From that angle, you couldn't see it, but he did hook the legs of David, shooting the gap.
Well, we've seen how fiery Paul Rhodes can be. We also saw that last year after that win at Nebraska. Post-game speech, it's been on YouTube, got about 300,000 hits. As the pass to the end zone is caught. Touchdown, Jake Williams. Guys, how about Arnaud coming back from what looked like a brutal injury?
Yep. He was out of the ball game, got taped up and back in.
And throws a bullet there to Jake Williams. The third touchdown catch for Williams. His 8th career touchdown reception at the game winner in Lincoln a year ago.
4 receivers to the left, guarantee single coverage on the true freshman Evans. Big play.
A touchdown pass by Austin Arnaud to Jake Williams. Iowa State has tied the game. Miles Paul and Tim Marlowe are the deep men for Nebraska. That takes an awkward hop into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. And you can join ESPN in support of our troops, wounded warriors, and their families. Donate $10 by texting USO to 27722 or go to USO.org.
That's a great organization. I had a chance to go to Kuwait a couple years ago on a USO mission and visit with the troops and actually coach a flag football team with the troops. My team finished in last, of course, but, but we played good defense. I was trying to run the ball in flag football, Grease. Didn't quite work out.
It didn't surprise me. His defense was good, but his offense wasn't worth a darn.
In case you just joined us, Taylor Martinez, the starting quarterback for Nebraska, has only been out there one play because of injury. Cody Green, who completes that pass to Niles Paul, was hurt earlier in the game but has come back. We don't know whether we'll see Martinez again or not. The guy we've seen the most at quarterback, at least in the second quarter, has been Rex Burkhead, has been running the Wildcat.
You see right there, and Cody Green has got to give Niles Paul a ball to catch and run. I mean, you can't have a guy work to catch the ball at a 5-yard route. I know he's new and he hasn't played a lot, but you know, this is the big league. It's the Big 12. You're on the road. Give him a throw to work with.
We might have seen Zach Lee, but he's got a sore arm. As Green is brought down by A.J. Klein, the middle linebacker for Iowa State, the second leading tackler in the Big 12. Aflac. Now for today's Aflac trivia question. Guys, who is the only Heisman-winning quarterback to rush for 1,000 yards in the season in which he won the Heisman? Do you know who it is? You do, don't you, Bob? Chris, do you?
Yes, but I'll let Bob answer it.
Eric Crouch.
Liar. Of Brandon Kinney, incomplete, and Nebraska goes 3 and out. Leonard Johnson on the coverage for Iowa State.
The good news, it was a much better throw by Cody Green. And Brandon Kinney, I think the ball snuck up on him a little bit. He got his hands up late.
Well, and it may have been a little bit of a knuckleball. Let's check it out. Yeah, it wasn't spinning real well into the wind. That ball can do that. And he also heard the defensive back coming.
Henry punting into the wind. And again, Iowa State going to have excellent starting field position. There is a penalty flag down. But as of right now, the Cyclones will start in Nebraska territory for the second straight possession.
And Paul Rhodes is again out there helping out the officials with the call.
He is an intense guy.
He's a guy that this program needed. A guy that loves Iowa State. He's been here. He's from the state of Iowa. He did a tour of duty here with Dan McCarney.
After the kick, personal foul, face mask, number 25, Iowa State. 15 yards from the end of the kick. First down.
Remember when he came to Iowa State, it was his first head coaching job. The Cyclones were riding a 10-game losing streak. He's got this thing going in the right direction. They went to a bowl game last year. They're one game away from being bowl eligible this year, and they control their own destiny to win the Big 12 North.
He's more importantly, I mean, he sells it where his players believe that they can go out each and every week and win a ball game. They got blown out by Utah, blown out by Oklahoma, and they come back and beat Texas and Kansas. That's a sign of a good coach.
Beat Texas this year for the first time ever.
Arnaud had two guys open. Reynolds on the catch, but he stepped out of bounds just shy of the 50-yard line. Still a gain of 12. All right, let's answer our Aflac trivia question. Well, Bob already did. Talk about no suspense. Who's the only Heisman quarterback to rush for 1,000 yards? Eric Crouch for Nebraska in 2001.
You asked me. I figured it was a direct question. I wasn't. You were embarrassing me. I had to answer the question.
Big hole for Robinson to the 42-yard line. Iowa State pounding Nebraska right now.
And this is where you'll see their jet. After a big run, they want to hurry up and go as Nebraska looks around and see what to do.
Out in the flat, Darius Darks picking up the first down. Tom Herman, the second-year offensive coordinator who came from Rice, hired by Paul Rhodes, doing a good job.
And you absolutely see that the Cyclone offense has become two-dimensional with the win. Against the win in the first quarter, they were moving the ball, but they were one-dimensional. Now they got Nebraska guessing.
And they're going to have it the rest of this quarter and the beginning, the entire third quarter.
How about Arnaud? Only one incompletion so far in the game. Here he's looking deep. Overthrown, barely intended for Jake Williams, who is being covered downfield.
Anthony West.
That's West.
Yeah.
That's good coverage by West, looking back into that sun. Great coverage, and the ball was right there, but good coverage by West. They got a lot of players, Nebraska, that play in this secondary. A lot of depth, and they're very good. In fact, they lead the nation in pass efficiency.
Notice what side they threw to, away from Amukamara. They haven't thrown at him yet, the All-American corner. 21 in white, who's on the near side here. Robinson on the handoff and spun down at the point of attack by Levante David. That will bring up 3rd and long.
I'm talking with Coach Herman yesterday. Anytime they have a one-on-one matchup, they're certainly going to look, and they feel like it's man coverage. They're going to go away from Prince and attack the other corner. That's just part of their game plan. And it's a good part of their game plan, and the right part of their game plan.
Well, Amukamara leads the nation in pass breakups. He's been targeted 26 times. He's only given up 5 completions. As you see Tom Herman calling plays from upstairs. 3rd down and 9. Arnaud with time, Darks, and there's Amukamara, showing he can hit too. Only the 6th completion he's allowed, but the guy paid for it for catching it in front of him. It's 4th down in Iowa State, and a try a field goal.
Well, one of the most things that you want to look at as a corner when you're evaluating is closing speed, and right there you witness closing speed. Eliminate any yards after catch.
Grant Mahoney has missed his last 4 field goal attempts. They've all been from 45 or longer, and this is a 49-yard attempt. Kicking with the wind. And he missed it wide to the right. Had plenty of leg, but off the mark. And Nebraska will take over with good field position.
You need to give him some chip shots where he'll get a little confidence going. Trying all these 40-yard plus field goals.
Saturday Night Football continues with a Pac-10 showdown as Arizona takes on Andrew Luck and Stanford. Some of you will see Missouri and Texas Tech. Go to ESPN.com and search math to see where you can find your game. Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines on ABC tonight, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
A little surprised we haven't seen Burkhead operate the quarterback position.
Alou trying to find a hole, stumbles to the 35. Nebraska's gone 3 and out on its last 2 possessions. Alou last week rushed for over 300 yards. Doesn't have a touchdown in this game, but quiet for the most part. Just over 30 yards rushing.
Yeah, and all those long runs, they wouldn't have counted if it was 2-hand touch. They wouldn't have had him down. Nobody touched him. Never seen anything like it.
Last week had touchdown runs of 66, 53, and 73 yards. Here's Burkhead running the Wildcat and giving to Helu, who has the first down. We talked about those big runs last week. He was having a good season before this game. Well, 307 yards later, he's a candidate for first-team All-Big 12 running back. He was a second-teamer a year ago.
Not touched.
Check out the offensive line.
Well,
they did a great job. That center is a good player. He is the smallest guy on the line, Caputo, 6'1", 275.
On the field is fumble. Iowa State has recovered. First down, Iowa State.
So Paul Rhodes was, initially they ruled Nebraska ball. There was no fumble. Then Paul Rhodes is over there talking to one of the officials saying they fumbled the ball. So they changed the call. The ruling in the field is a fumble by Helu and a recovery by Iowa State.
Sims right there ripping that ball out.
Yeah, one of the officials was right there. He saw the ball come out.
That's number 1, David Sims, come into your picture. And it's tough to tell from that angle if Helu's knees were down.
Well, but the good news for Iowa State is you can't see the ball. And if you're reviewing this upstairs, you got to be able to see the ball or you're never going to overturn a call on the field.
We don't know. We have no idea.
Can't see the ball or his knees.
Yeah, whether the ball is out or not.
Again, it has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the ruling on the field, and I don't know how you're going to do that.
The umpire is right there. See, and look at it. He's looking right at it. Does he make the call?
Yeah, Majit, you see number 38 come out of there with the ball for Iowa State. You see Majit right here, wrestled, there it is on the ground.
This would probably be our best angle. You're going to see the ball pop out right by number 38, Majit. There the ball is on the ground.
There's no way they're overturning this, guys. And you can't tell.
Well, the ruling on the field was that it was a fumble.
Right there is the football on the ground.
But you can't see if he's down or not.
Again, I don't think there's any way that this gets overturned.
You see Helu over there pleading his case. I was down, man. I was down.
All you can see was the ball at the very end there. You couldn't see
After further
him.
review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Iowa State.
That is a huge turnover. That's the 27th time Nebraska's put the ball on the ground this year. Iowa State will take over at the Nebraska 41.
And the 10th fumble that they've lost this year.
Wally Burnham was talking about that. He knows this team puts the ball on the deck. David Sims knows it because he came in there ripping away.
There's Robinson. He's submarined at the 39 by Cassidy, so a gain of a couple. Inside 2 minutes, Iowa State with all of its timeouts remaining.
It's about time to get Colin Franklin, number 88, involved in this offense, the leading receiver with 37 catches. Right here, big target.
Arnaud pulls it back and unloads, incomplete, intended for Darius Darks. Courtney Osborne had coverage, now it's 3rd and long.
Good coverage and just a little bit of an overthrow by Arnaud. Again, if you're just joining us, there's a strong wind from right to left behind Arnaud, and I think that just may have carried it over a little bit, made him throw the ball a little longer.
And Nebraska is going to call a timeout. Play clock was down to 5. Hopefully he didn't like what he saw from his defense getting into it with his brother Carl. Let's head to New York and Robert Flores for a Sports Center right now.
All right, and that Sports Center right now presented by Discover. Number 1 Oregon was off to an uneven start against Washington, but they have turned it up here in the past few moments. Darren Thomas 34-yard touchdown run. They're up on Washington 18-3. Meantime, TCU, they've put the pedal to the metal from the get-go. Jeremy Curley, the wide receiver, to Bart Johnson. Horned Frogs rolling over the number 5 Utes.
Wow, that would be huge for the Horned Frogs to win that game, considering that they leapfrogged Boise State in the BCS standings this week to move into the 3 slot.
See Bo looking like a baseball manager up there, right in the grill, the referee. Didn't like the fumble call.
It's 3rd down here, guys, for Iowa State. If you are the Cyclones, are you thinking 4-down territory? Your kicker's missed 5 in a row, but he's got a leg to get it there.
You're either thinking go for it on 4th down or punt it to play field position.
They're going to face man-to-man, and Nebraska will bring pressure.
Here they come.
Arnaud hits Williams, but nothing there. Brought down immediately by Amukamara. It's 4th down and long.
Bob, they tried to run a little pick right there, and they're trying to pick Prince Amukamara. Didn't work out. He ran right through it.
He's seen that before, hadn't he?
And they're going to try another long field goal. 5 straight misses for Grant Mahoney. But last year, he hit 3 field goals, 50 yards or more. If he misses, Nebraska's going to get the ball near midfield.
How about a fake?
With a minute to go and a timeout. Iowa State's going to talk about it. They'll have 2 timeouts remaining. This will be a 57-yard try. Or will it? Find out when we come back. Tied at 7, a minute left. Iowa State getting ready to attempt a 57-yard field goal in a tie game with 1 minute to go in the half.
You know what I would do? I would do the quick kick here. I think you don't give Nebraska any opportunity to score points, and sometimes you'll see a direct snap to the kicker, and he'll just go ahead and pooch kick down.
If you were to do that, why wouldn't you just punt it?
Is it okay?
Eliminate the return.
This one has the leg. It's good. How about the confidence Paul Rhodes has in Grant Mahoney? The guy's missed 5 in a row.
Yep.
He says, go out there again, kid. Kick a 57-yarder.
He told us yesterday that, you know, he would downwind at the end of the half. He'd let his kid try it from 60.
I'll tell you, the beauty of that kick is that ball got up in the air in a hurry. Usually on those longer kicks, as Coach Rhodes celebrates, he said, Chris, I'm not playing safe, I'm playing to win. And that ball got up high, and usually in those longer kicks, you have to drive those. Outstanding kick of getting that ball high and in the air and quickly.
Iowa State leads by 3. No rest for Mahoney. He's out there to kick off. Again with the wind at his back. Tim Marlowe and Niles Paul are the deep men. Nebraska has 1 timeout remaining. Here's Marlowe for Nebraska. And he gets dumped at the 22-yard line. Coming up on the Capital One Halftime Report, John Saunders and Jesse Palmer are in the studio with scores and highlights from around the country, including a shootout in Ann Arbor. And also Joe Paterno going for his 400th win. Well, a 57-yard field goal by Grant Mahoney, 1 shy of an Iowa State school record. Cyclones on top by 3.
That field goal would have been good from 65.
Cody Green in at quarterback. Hand it off, and Halou has running room across the 32 near the 1st down marker.
Now the problem Nebraska has, because they're going into that strong wind, they have yet to show anything downfield as far as the passing game goes, with the clock ticking at 39 seconds.
Did you see those highlights that we showed of Halou, where he wasn't touched by anybody? Doesn't matter if you're running into the wind on those or not. what was it, 4 of them that were longer than 50 yards?
Tell you what, if they don't get this, Iowa State should call a timeout. Alou does get it. Out across the 40. They'll stop the clock to move the chains. Nebraska still has a timeout left.
Roy's running a little angry after that fumble. You see that? He put his head down and he's looking for contact. That'll wake a guy up, though. He feels bad about that. He's running with some passion.
And looks like Nebraska's content to go into the locker room down 3. Looks like they're going to snap it, though. They're getting in position to.
I would.
There's Alou. And up near midfield, but that's the final play of the first half. Let's check in with Quint down on the field.
Coach, you were upset during that last fumble call. Why?
Because they held him up for 15 seconds and pulled at the ball.
How can you better execute given that Cody Green is your quarterback?
It has nothing to do with Cody Green. It has to do, it's a team game. We got to execute better on both sides of the football.
How is wind impacting the way this game is being played?
It's not. Everything's fine. We'll be just fine in a second.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Quint. Bo wanted nothing to do with anybody at that moment in time.
I'm going to get 15-yard penalty to Quint for holding.
Good job, Quint. Oh, man. Pelini upset his teams down 3. And we look at our All-State Good Hands play. The catch for the touchdown by Jake Williams to tie the game at 7. When we come back, we'll join John Saunders and Jesse Palmer in the studio with the Capital One halftime report. Welcome back to college football on ESPN, presented by Kay Jewelers. Iowa State trying to knock off Nebraska for the 2nd straight year and get bowl eligible. The Cyclones on top by 3. Niles Paul back to receive the kickoff along with Tim Marlowe. Nebraska in that first half ran 11 fewer plays than Iowa State, and of their 28 plays, 24 were running plays. They threw the ball just 4 times with Cody Green at quarterback. The ball being blown off the tee by the wind for the 2nd time.
It's going to be interesting to see the offensive adjustments by Nebraska as they have the wind at their back, and maybe they'll throw a pass over 10 yards.
I don't understand. Nebraska chose the 2nd half to receive the kickoff, and so Iowa State must have chose to kick into the wind in the 3rd quarter, so they'd have it at their back in the 4th.
Niles Paul will take it for Nebraska, and he's got blockers out there, and Paul across the 35-yard line. Dave Pasch, Chris Spielman, Bob Gracie, Quint Kesnick down on the field. Well, guys, Bo Pelini, although he didn't want to, he told Quint going into the locker room that Cody Green was not the problem. Is he right?
Yeah, he's right. It's a team thing, and the problem is he doesn't have Taylor Martinez. Taylor Martinez is a difference maker and is a big-time player in this game.
That's the problem. No Taylor Martinez.
Yeah.
And so what you have to do you go with Buckhead now running the Wildcat or Cody Green and let him throw the ball downfield to loosen up that Cyclone defense? If you have the wind, if you're going to throw it downfield, throw it now.
Yeah, 3rd quarter, you got the wind with you.
Remember Zach Lee, who came into the game last week against Missouri when Martinez got hurt with an ankle injury. His arm is sore. So it'll be Green, then he hands it off to Helou, who's across the 40, got about 5 on 1st down. David Sims on the stop for Iowa State.
You know, I don't know if it's going to happen, but I get the feeling that Helou is ready to pop one. I have that feeling, and I don't know, but you almost see he's angry about that fumble, and he's going to run one, and they're going to bust one here pretty soon. That's just a feeling.
Well, this is a good offensive line, and they've been shut down. No big plays for a half. You got to expect something to happen.
Helou's got 6 touchdown runs at 53 yards or more. This is going to be a pass, and it is caught for a 1st down by Brandon Kinney to midfield as we check in with Quint.
I spoke to Paul Rhodes as he basically was sprinting out of the locker room, really fired up he was. I asked him what the key was to no Nebraska explosive plays. He said really our run defense, our gap control, our fits, and our contain. He says it's really tested against the Wildcat where the numbers game's in favor of the offense. Second thing I asked him was the field goal to end the 1st half. I said, did Grant Mahoney talk you into it? He said, no, I had confidence in him all the time.
A 57-yard boot by Mahoney after he missed one And moments earlier to give Iowa State the lead. Play fake and deep throw by Cody Green, but overthrown. Intended for Niles Paul, who is well covered by Jeremy Reeves. Let's look at our Pacific Life game summary. Paul Rhodes talked about the rush defense. Iowa State's 99th in the nation, and 131 yards for Nebraska in that first half. Only 2 completions, as we mentioned. They only threw it 4 times, Nebraska, in that first half. How about on the ground for Iowa State?
Yeah.
Alexander Robinson. He's on pace for $150.
Iowa State almost a little over 200 yards in total offense, more than Nebraska.
Alou straight ahead for 4 yards to the 46-yard line.
A good play by Jacob Latimer, the defensive end, has have an outstanding game, both in pressuring the passer and also running. About the gap control, the running game.
Alou to the bench here on 3rd down and 6. Going to go empty here with Green. He got banged up in the first half. Took a shot to the head, but came back in after a couple plays. And Green throws a strike to Kyler Reed for the first down inside the 40-yard line.
Nice pitch and catch. Kyler Reed is a big tight end, a nice target. Just going to go down from the left side there and break to the outside. All you want is a first down, and that's what you get.
A.J. Klein has to know where the sticks are. We always talk about receivers knowing where the sticks are. Defenders have to in jump routes in those situations.
6 straight road wins for Nebraska coming into today. Here's Burkhead, and did a great job to keep his balance. It looked like, well, now they're going to say he was down at the 30, but his knee did go down at the 30-yard line, so a gain of 7.
Right there, you see it down. I'll tell you, nice job by Rick Henry, the offensive guard, hitting Jake Knott, putting Knott on the ground. They call that the old pancake. It's what I do with you, Dave, when I get upset with you.
Good thing we haven't gotten to that point yet. By the way, it looked like he got a good spot there. It looked like the knee was down around the 32, and the ball was at best at the 31. Burkhead picks up the first down inside the 25. Latimer on the stop downfield.
Close to popping that one, Chris.
Let's go back to the spot where you see the knee down and the ball maybe at the 31. Didn't matter, though. He burst through the middle of the field on the last rushing play to get a first down. Green will hand it off to Burkhead again. Inside the 15-yard line. Picks up another first down.
That's where you have to be patient as a defense, and you have to read the shoulders of the running back. If the shoulders of the running back are square to the line of scrimmage when he receives the ball, watch your shoulders. See, they're square, and you can't over pursue. You got to maintain your gap integrity.
Meanwhile, an official went down at the 14-yard line.
And that didn't happen during the play.
No, it didn't, which makes you nervous when you see that happen. He's holding his right ankle here.
Well, he got tripped. Looked like he got tripped up with the player that was running off the field.
Back in a moment. George Gussman, the head linesman, shaken up, so Dirk Riles will come in to replace him.
Take a look right here. You're going to see him trip, roll his right ankle. You got to have depth at the officials. You got to come in and play.
Dirk. George, he hopped off that bench quickly. He wants to get back out there.
He doesn't want to get Wally pipped.
First down at the 14. Nebraska moving the ball on the ground. Cody Green can't slip a tackle. Jake Knott brings him down. They got two linebackers in Jake Knott and A.J. Klein, who are not highly recruited, but both make a lot of plays for Iowa State.
Number 1 and 2 in the Big 12 in tackles.
Riles just got tapped out there by Gussman, who's back out there as the head linesman.
Reminds me of when a linebacker came in to take my place. Get away from me,
you didn't like it.
No. I'm in, you're out.
Burkhead. And he gets planted at the 10-yard line by David Sims. Gain of 4. Third down coming up.
Well, that's a nice open field tackle. There's Dirk, ready to come in just in case. I tell you, he picked a good choice of seats there, Grease.
He's the alternate. I think he wanted to get up and move around a little bit. He's getting a little chilly over there.
But David Sims coming up, making a nice one-on-one tackle, which is not easy to do in open field. And the one thing he did, I don't see a lot of, is he actually wrapped his arms, which can actually benefit you when you do make tackles.
Again, no Taylor Martinez. He's only been out there for one play because of an ankle injury. Play clock at 3. Cody Green, who's listed as the number 3 quarterback, started the game. And because the play clock was running down, Nebraska had to burn a timeout. 10-7 Iowa State, early third in Ames. Big day for horse racing, of course. Breeders' Cup.
The Classic coming on later on today.
It's on ESPN.
Zenyatta, 19-0.
Is there a rematch that Calvin Burrell's called for?
You saw that.
Interesting formation here. And Burkhead has stood up. It's 4th down.
Well, that play only tells me one thing. They have zero confidence in Cody Green to do something with the football through the air.
They're really missing Taylor Martinez, because this is just a straight run to the right. With Taylor Martinez in there, they might have did an option, maybe a zone read.
So Henry for a short field goal, 25 yards. He's missed just once this year, and that was blocked. It's perfect, and we are tied at 10. Let's check in with Robert Flores in our Times Square studio in New York.
All right, Dave, AT&T All-America Player of the Week update. Edwin Baker, Michigan State, 27 carries, 179 yards, as Michigan State beats up Minnesota 31-8. You can text VOTE to 345-345 to take part and for a chance at a trip to the national title game.
Now Nebraska's still in the hunt for a spot in the BCS championship game, but number 7 in the BCS standings, tied with Iowa State. Well, after making it through last weekend's race unscathed, Jimmy Johnson, Denny Hamlin, and Kevin Harvick are locked in the tightest championship battle in Chase history. It continues at Texas Sunday, 3 Eastern on ESPN. Telecast presented by GoDaddy.com. So here in Ames, we're tied at 10, a low-scoring game a year ago. And Nebraska turned it over 8 times. Iowa State won in Lincoln 9-7. A costly turnover by Nebraska at the end of the first half. And Iowa State turned that into a field goal to take the lead. The Huskers have tied it with a field goal of their own. And kickoff through the end zone. It will come out to the 20 for Iowa State. Here's Quint.
Dave, we've been talking about the wind all day, blowing strong right to left out of the south at about 20 miles an hour. Gusts have been in a little more. But I talked to some locals at halftime. You know, I was trying to figure out whether the wind's going to die down or whether it's going to pick up. They told me that typically out here in the plains, that as the sun goes down, the wind tends to die down as well.
Well, and I bet Nebraska is hoping that's the case, because otherwise they'll be going into the wind in the 4th quarter.
The Cyclones need a drive here, need to stay on the field.
Arnaud bouncing back from a first quarter injury was brilliant in that second quarter. Robinson gets nothing here on first down. Cameron Meredith made the stop. Take a look at the impact field goals the Wind had on the field goals there in pregame. I mean, look at that thing. Start out going to the right, hook back to the left.
Phil Necro knuckleball in there.
Robinson 77 yards on the day, running the football, looking for his 3rd straight 100-yard day on the ground. Nebraska's showing blitz, and the ball is dropped and ruled incomplete. Darks recovered it anyway, but it's an incompletion. That was DeJon Gomes, who had to go to the locker room in the first half because of injury. He was showing blitz.
Gomes, number 7, did a nice job of jumping up. May have bothered Darks. Took his eye off the ball, lost his concentration.
Uncharacteristic of Darks to drop the ball. Suffered a few against Kansas last week.
Arnaud with time. He throws an interception to Austin Cassidy. Inside the 10. Touchdown, Nebraska.
When you stare him down, that's what happens. And you don't throw deep. There's no threat. You stare a receiver down. Austin Cassidy just reads the eyes. Easy pickings. Watch number 8, Austin Cassidy. Look at, first of all, Arnaud's looking right where he's going. Austin Cassidy breaks on the ball before the receiver breaks on the ball. And he's into the paint.
Cassidy, a walk-on, a farmer walk-on. Smart player. Knows where the first down yardage is. Jumps in and makes the pick.
And guys, what were the Iowa State coaches telling us yesterday? Hard to get Arnaud to be consistent and not make the big mistake, but he does here. Boy, this is huge. Cassidy with his first interception of the year takes it home. Nebraska by 7. Austin Arnaud bounced back from injury in the first half. Can he bounce back from a huge interception in the second half? Return for a touchdown by Austin Cassidy as Nebraska scored 10 points in about 30 seconds to take the lead.
Outstanding read by Austin Cassidy, jumping the 12-yard route. I'll show it to you here in a second, knowing he had help over the top.
Each team controlling its own destiny in the Big 12 North to play in the championship game. Nebraska made it there last year, lost to Texas. And this one takes a huge hop and goes into the end zone. And it's a touchback. They had to at least go get the ball there because it was touched, so it'll come out to the 20.
Here's the bracket coverage.
You got 3 receivers up there to the left. You got inside-out coverage. Watch as the receiver's going to run down the field. He's going to run a little inside route right here. The 2 defensive backs that Chris drew up for you, inside out, and the inside guy sees the break, jumps inside because he knew he had help from the other guy on the deep coverage.
Yeah, the outside guy was going to go deep. The inside guy takes the short route. He jumps. The outside guy just has his buddy's back. Excellent execution for Carl Pelini and the Husker D.
Play fake, and Arnaud completes it out near the 25-yard line of the tight end Franklin. Bob, you've been talking a lot about the wind and the impact it has on a quarterback. With the wind, Arnaud is 8 of 10 for 61 yards and a touchdown. Against the wind, he's 5 of 8 for 30 yards and an interception.
Yeah.
Robinson grabbed and planted by Meredith. Not much there on second down. Here's Quint.
A key drive for him in his mind right now, that being Austin Arnaud. Tom Herman, their offensive coordinator, at times says he's got to be a psychologist to the quarterback. It can be a little self-critical. Let's see how he bounces back from that critical mistake on that last series.
The senior playing one of the hometown fans. He's from Ames. His dad played at Iowa State. His mom was a volleyball player in the Hall of Fame at Iowa State. Trying to come up big on third down. And it's a first down grab by Robinson to the 33-yard line.
But he's a 5th-year senior, and like I said before, this is his 35th start. So he's been around the block a few times, and he knows what it's like. But you mentioned those numbers with the wind and against the wind, but you didn't mention the defense. The defense knows you're throwing into the wind also, so they know they can jump it a little bit because you're not going to throw it too far down the field.
A couple of short pass completions to get Arnaud going, and Robinson brought down again at the point of attack by David. They're not having as much running room here in the second half as they did in the first stanza.
We actually had a big hole, and David did a nice job of grabbing the leg. And I think Robinson just saw that hole open a little bit too late. David's an outstanding football player, undersized linebacker, really the only linebacker on the field, as the Husker D likes to go dime, which is 6 defensive backs.
Arnaud will keep, and Arnaud has another Iowa State first down.
He's running at about 70% with that busted ankle that he sprained in the first half.
Well, right there, I mean, that's a good sign for him to make a play for his teammates after the interception. You see him gimping and limping a little bit. Outstanding read on the option, saw that the pitch was taken, tucks the ball, runs, and gets what he can get through guts. Right there, he has the spat job on the right ankle.
That's the tape job. That's how most people refer to it. They retaped it at halftime. Robinson in trouble, and Nebraska snuffing that out. Again, nothing doing for Robinson. Pierre Allen all over it, along with Anthony West.
I think Robinson got the best compliment I ever heard a player get. When Coach Herman talked about if his daughter was 15 years older, he would actually like her to marry a guy like A-Rob.
He's meant a lot to this program. Robinson, a senior from Minneapolis. He's out of the game right now, and Arnaud, instead of pitching, takes off and takes a shot from Allen and Steinkühler. So 3rd down and 10 coming up.
As quick as this Nebraska defense is, Chris, I don't think a play like that with Arnaud running an option wide to the wide side of the field, he's got a chance.
You got him once, you're not going to get him again. And a nice job by number 34, Cameron Meredith, eating up blockers to allow his teammates to come to the football.
3rd and long, Arnaud in trouble. Holding going to be called here, but Arnaud throws another interception. It'll be declined, and Nebraska will take over as Eric Haig picks off Arnaud, who's shaken up again. Jason Ankra got pressure for Nebraska and was being held.
Threw the ball up in the wind, it just kind of hung.
Penalty is declined. Nebraska ball.
I really think they made a mistake by not taking the wind in the 3rd quarter.
Well, and you have a good reason why, because of the game, the flow of the game.
Yeah, you want to stay. You're a big underdog. You're at home. You come out the second half. You want to continue staying ahead of these guys as long as you can. So what if Nebraska gets the win in the 4th quarter? Well, let them have it. We got the win in the 3rd quarter, and we're not going to throw those 2 picks if we're going into the win.
Possessions on consecutive, or interceptions rather, on consecutive possessions for Iowa State, and then Helou was one broken tackle away from taking it the distance. Gets 4 yards. We're not talking upstairs to offensive coordinator Tom Herman. 2nd and 6, and Helou trying to cut it back. And does well to get positive yardage, crosses midfield. Brought down by Majit. Boy, they had him there and would have brought up 3rd down and 8 or 9. Instead, very manageable 3rd and 4 for Nebraska.
And they want their jet package right there, or hurry up after the big play.
I'm just going to say, if Nebraska can get through this game without Taylor Martinez, who is sitting out with an ankle injury, and get him back for next week, that would be a big plus. On the road, a big win.
They got Kansas in Lincoln next week. Then they go to A&M, finish up the Big 12 regular season against Colorado as the pass is caught for a 1st down. Cody Green on the money to Brandon Kinney.
Big play by Cody Green right there. Taking his time, allowing Kinney to come free and throwing that ball low and inside where only his guy can get that little dig route about 12 yards.
Not seen the Wildcat really here in the 2nd half. They haven't had to use it. Green playing better here in the 3rd. He fumbled the ball there, though, but got it back. Not trying to wrestle it away from him. Heads up play as Green and Burkhead could not get on the same page as try to go with a handoff.
The difference a year makes for Nebraska. Last year, 4 times inside the 20. They lost fumbles. Turned it over 8 times last year in that loss to Iowa State.
He tried to pull it back there from Burkhead.
Burkhead got to that front hip of the quarterback. Thus the rule telling him to take the ball.
Here he will take the ball and stood up by Knott at the 40-yard line. Gain of 6, and 3rd down and about 5. Again, 2 of the remaining 3 opponents for Nebraska coming into today without a win in Big 12 play. Kansas and Colorado, a road game at A&M. Nebraska's last Big 12 title was 1999. Of course, this is their last year in the Big 12. They'll move to the Big 10 in 2011 and play Murderers Row in the Big 10. They got a ridiculous schedule next year.
No Oklahoma on Nebraska's schedule this year either. Maybe in the championship game.
Right. 3rd down and 6. Long throw caught again by Kinney. First down, Cornhuskers.
I don't know why the coverage isn't tighter. They're not running deep routes against this team. Understand the sticks and go ahead and get in the face and challenge. You're going to see Reeves is playing about 15 yards off Kinney. Fine, he's pushing you, but you understand the mindset of this offense and what they're trying to do.
Maybe it's because they know they got the win.
Fumbling the snap there is Cody Green. Couldn't handle it from Mike Caputo, so that pushes him back 4 yards.
Yeah, but eventually you got to take your shots. And you got to line up and challenge your guys.
Wally Burnham, the defensive coordinator.
I'm sorry, Dave. They threw 1 pass over 20 yards today. So you got to guess a little bit.
Second year for Burnham was at South Florida. He was also on Bobby Bowden's staff at Florida State in the early 80s, won a championship. Done a good job with this Iowa State defense. Here's Helou, and good job by the Cyclones at the point of attack. Gain of only a couple, 3rd and long coming up. This week on ESPN's Monday Night Football, Big Ben and the Steelers head to Cincinnati to face T.O. and the Bengals, who are in desperate need of wins. A lot of people thought they'd be a contender in the AFC, but been a rough year so far. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern with Monday Night Countdown, served by Applebee's.
T.O. didn't take long to throw McNabb under the bus on that 2-minute drill.
Now with McNabb being pulled by Mike Shanahan, who said that McNabb wasn't conditioned enough to run the 2-minute offense, whatever that means. 3rd and 12. Back to throw, and down the middle, it's caught inside the 10-yard line. Inside the 5 is Kyler Reed. 3 3rd down conversions on this drive, throwing the ball for Cody Green.
Watch A.J. Klein. You're going to see right there. Kyler gets inside, and A.J. McNeil makes the decision of letting him get inside. You got to hold your integrity on that responsibility of keeping that receiver to the outside. Why? Because that's where your safety is, on the outside.
Good route by Kyler Reed. He's a tight end, but he's almost a half-breed wide receiver tight end. Good route runner.
Burkhead down to the 2-yard line, so it'll be 2nd and goal. Well, coming into today, Reed had 7 catches. 4 of those were touchdowns, all 33 yards or more. He was a big play guy. We saw it there on 3rd down and long.
Just about discipline and coverage. For A.J., if he keeps him on his outside, it pushes him toward the safety so he can get help on those deeper routes.
And now they shift into the Wildcat with Burkhead as the quarterback. And Burkhead behind the blocker is in. Touchdown, Nebraska. And a late flag comes in. Ricky Henry, the right guard, with a big block. And Burkhead running behind him makes it a 2-possession game. A.J. Klein was in there and may have gotten a hold of the face mask of Burkhead. And you see it there. Yep.
After the score, personal foul, number 48, Nebraska. 15-yard penalty being enforced on the kickoff.
Well, they call a personal foul on Nebraska on Tyler Legate.
Wow.
Now, the benefit, well, I guess not the benefit, but the good news is if you're Nebraska is that because you have the wind at your back, even though you're kicking 15 yards back, it may not really affect you, as the extra point is good. 4th touchdown this season by Burkhead. 17 straight points for Nebraska. We've got a Sports Center right now. Here's Robert Flores.
Here's what's happening right now in Sports Center, presented by Discover. #1 Oregon leading Washington 25-16. Darren Thomas to Jeff Mayo for the touchdown. And number 10 LSU has erupted for 10 points. Jordan Jefferson to Reuben Randall. They lead number 6 Alabama 10-7.
Robert, here it is 24-10 Nebraska. All 3 touchdowns for the Cornhuskers today have been following Iowa State turnovers, one directly off a turnover on a pick 6. So no face mask is called. Instead, they get Legate, who undoubtedly was upset with A.J. Klein for what Legate thought was an illegal play by
twisting
Klein.
the helmet of the runner.
And the officials didn't see that, and so Nebraska kicks off from the 15, but again, they'll have the wind at their back.
A chance for the Cyclones to get some type of field position to work with.
But again, because of the wind, Kanalik hammers that thing into the end zone. Iowa State's going to run it out. Chantrell Johnson across the 20 into the 25-yard line. Well, we said that Nebraska, when it moves to the Big Ten next year, has a ridiculously tough schedule. This is just their conference games. They got to go to Wisconsin, to Penn State, to Michigan, play Ohio State, Michigan State, Northwestern, and Iowa at home. They also play Fresno State and Washington.
The teams that aren't on that schedule for the Big Ten are Indiana, Purdue, and Illinois.
And Nebraska will play Penn State every year. That is their protected crossover rivalry game in the realigned Big Ten. As Robinson is spilled for a loss by Cameron Meredith, the final play of the 3rd quarter. So Iowa State led by 3 at the half, but they'll enter the 4th quarter down 14 points. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Back in Ames, Iowa, Iowa State in trouble, down 24-10 as we start the 4th quarter.
Every Sunday, the BCS Countdown Show reveals the exclusive BCS rankings. Be the first to know who's in the driver's seat and who's poised to be this year's BCS Buster.
Get ready, because there are going to be more teams falling.
The BCS Countdown Show, tomorrow at 8:15 on ESPN.
And taking a look at this week's BCS standings, brought to you by Vizio. Nebraska's number 7. Still a chance to play for a BCS championship, obviously depending on what happens above them. Last check, TCU was routing Utah at halftime, 23-0.
On the road.
In Salt Lake City. Oregon playing Washington today, and that game was close at halftime. Robinson with running room. And near the first down marker, about a yard short.
BCS, biggest surprise team, Auburn or Oregon?
I would have to say Auburn. I think with Cam Newton coming in on his first year, and that defense has always been a little suspect, but they've been living to every challenge they've gotten so far.
Arnaud completes it. There's a flag down. First down catch made by Jake Williams. Are those the only 2 we get to pick from as the surprise there? Oregon
No,
and
I'm
Auburn?
just the top 2. There was the top 2 sticking up there, and I just wondered what was the bigger surprise.
Well, I think a lot of people thought Oregon would have a chance to be pretty good. They weren't sure about Auburn because of Cam Newton.
Offside, number 94 of the defense. That penalty declined. Result of the play, first down.
Well, first down, Iowa State, as we look at our Pacific Life game summary. Turnovers costly, including an interception return for a touchdown in the 3rd quarter. Otherwise, you look at the offense in terms of total yards, it's been pretty even. Here's Robinson one-on-one with a defender, and he cannot get away from Dijon Gomes. He'll lose 3 yards. They spot him down at the 42.
And that's the benefit of playing 5 or 6 defensive backs in your defense. Not many people are going to outrun you to the edges, as proven by Gomes, who comes up and does a good job of tackling high, wrapping his arms instead of coming in, not using the arms, roll blocking a guy in case he can make a miss with Robinson's strong lower body that he has.
Arnaud rolling out and has it complete near midfield. Good job walking the tightrope is Williams. Looks like he's got the first down. Great run after the catch by Jake Williams, a guy that at one time Tom Herman, the offensive coordinator, said he didn't even know who he was.
Yeah, he was a former walk-on. Came into the ball game with 7 career touchdowns. Picked up a first down.
He brings to that position his consistency, nicknamed Steady Eddie.
That's big for Iowa State. They've got the ball at the Nebraska 45. Iowa State 1 win shy of being bowl eligible. Each team controls its own destiny in the Big 12 North. Arnaud pulling it back, looking downfield, and Lenz has the catch at the 15-yard line of Nebraska.
You can see what drives the coaches crazy about Austin Arnaud. When you can make a dart like that and throw a couple of balls that he's thrown today.
They got the hurry up going.
Robinson trying to bust it to the outside, and a flag comes down in the area of offensive holding.
Personal foul, face mask, number 77, Iowa State. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Left guard Alex Alvarez, boy. Turnovers and penalties killing Iowa State in the second half.
And inside the 15 or 20-yard line, this is about the third 10-yard penalty that they've had inside there. That's just tough to pick up.
That's a 15-yard.
77. Yeah, that's kind of obvious there.
So it makes it first down and 25. Check that second down. Arnaud was incomplete, intended for Reynolds, but a flag down. There was contact after the play was over. And Courtney Osborne targeting Reynolds.
Pass interference, number 4 of the defense. Spot foul, first down.
They actually get pass interference
not for
on
the
Levante
late,
David.
Yeah, not the late hit, but
it's a first down.
Yeah.
It's a good call.
Yep.
Because he has his hands on the guy when the ball is in the air.
What do you guys think, though, about the hit after the play?
It's a love tap. Pulled up.
First down at the 16-yard line. Arnaud looking for the wheel route to Robinson. Incomplete. Levante David, the linebacker, with excellent coverage.
Recognized it, covered it well.
That's discipline in your man coverage, not going for any play fakes. He's locked up with Robinson. He does a good job of not looking back for the ball. A lot of times when you're man coverage, if you look back for the ball, the receiver gains ground. He held his discipline until the hands went up and his eyes went back to the football.
Robinson straight ahead, fumbled the ball, but got it back at the 6-yard line, right at the first down marker. Wow. That thing bounced right to him. It was forced by Austin Cassidy, who had the pick 6 earlier. It's a first down for Iowa State.
And with those turnovers, it's amazing that Iowa State is still in this ball game. Paul Rhodes told us yesterday that he felt that they needed a +3 turnover margin on their side for them to be in this ball game with Nebraska. But then he thought Taylor Martinez was playing.
They only had 11 giveaways coming into the game, plus our 9th in the nation in turnover margin. Arnaud down to the 1-yard line. Stopped by Osborne. So 2nd and goal coming up. Plenty of time on the clock for Iowa State if they can score here. Get it down to 1 possession.
Jet offense. Hurry up.
Robinson knocked down at the goal line. He did not get the ball across. 3rd and goal.
I think that's an excellent spot by the officials. Take a look.
They go jet again. Arnaud, quarterback sneak. No signal yet. No, 4th down. They're saying he did not get in. 4th down.
See,
I think he got in.
This is something that they ought to change in college football. Check from the line judge. Can you tell right there
Looked like he was over easily.
The umpire is standing right there, The linesman can't see. The two linesmen on the far side and the near side
is under further review.
They can't see, and the umpire is standing right by the linebackers, and he sees the guy fall over. He can't signal.
Yeah. I think when you look at it, even though the officials in the booth will not be able to see the football, both arms are across the ball, and you see easily that both arms are across the front of the goal line. That's where the goal line starts, at the front of the line, not at the back of the line.
His knees are not down.
I think they're going to get 7 points there, but I've been wrong before.
Again, it's got to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the ruling in the field. And boy, again, it looks like he's in. It looks like he's across. They're done looking at it, so.
Further review, the ball broke the plane of the goal line. Touchdown.
Iowa State within 1 score.
The bottom line is they should not ask the line judge and the head linesman on either side to try and make that call when you can't see.
Well, can the umpire see it? If he sees it, the umpire can go ahead and
sure. No, but he never does. He cannot make that call. It's those two guys on either line.
Big touchdown for Iowa State. Arnaud with his 2nd rushing score of the year. Also has a touchdown pass today. 12-play, 75-yard drive. And now they may look to see how much time is on the game clock here, because the clock was running.
Please reset the game clock to 11:29.
Yeah, the clock was running because it was 4th down. So add 27 seconds.
You kind of get the feeling that the field is tilted down at this end. All the touchdowns have been scored down here.
Yep.
Ain't nothing been scored down to our right.
Well, and they did take advantage of the fact that they had the wind at their back. And what a nice response from Arnaud after throwing the pick and coming back and leading the Cyclones to 6.
And Mahoney puts it through 24-17. Iowa State back within 7. Plenty of time left in the 4th. Iowa State back within 7 of Nebraska with 11:29 remaining. In the 4th quarter here in Ames, Iowa State is 1 win away from bowl eligibility, and that's big here. They won 5 games the 2 years Gene Chizik was here. Won 7 a year ago, including the Insight Bowl. Trying to knock off Nebraska for the 2nd straight time as Niles Paul takes it out. And he's not even going to get it to the 15. He fumbled the ball. Iowa State's got it. Deion Broomfield recovers the fumble for Iowa State.
Ball is definitely out. The Cyclones had 20 takeaways coming into this ball game. That's 11th best in the nation. That's one thing defensively they are very good at, and that is taking the ball away.
Preston Kaufman forced the fumble. Iowa State takes over inside the 15. Arnaud's pass knocked down by Gomes.
Job of Gomes reading eyes and getting the hands up on a short drop. One thing you can do to prevent that in the future for Gomes is you go ahead and you chop that guy's knees out. Those hands come down real fast
for sure.
to create a throwing lane.
Yeah.
Going back to the kickoff, Paul probably never should have taken it out, huh?
Yeah.
He wasn't even going to reach the 15-yard line. On 2nd down, Robinson cannot cut it back. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Levante David again for Nebraska. So 3rd down and long.
You know, one thing they haven't done, the Cyclone offense, you got an NFL, maybe NFL caliber tight end in Colin Franklin. He's 6'5", 6'6". You got a height advantage down here. Get him involved. He's your leading receiver coming into this football game. He's up here at the top of your screen.
He only has 1 catch today. 3rd and 10 for Arnaud and company. Arnaud with time. Open man! Touchdown! Robinson out of the backfield. Austin Arnaud bouncing back from injury, and a big interception return for a touchdown to throw 2 TD passes. That one on 3rd down to Robinson, and we are tied at 24.
Here's Robinson right here, the back. These 2 guys are going to come inside. Robinson's just going to swing down the sideline. Arnaud with a nice read, looks to the inside, just lays it up. That's a good call and a good execution.
See Darius Reynolds right there, throws a nice pick on David in coverage, which allows Robinson to get outside and free.
Both wide receivers to that side came to the inside to cause some confusion. That's just a good call.
You see Darius Reynolds, number 7, celebrating because he knew he did his job. His job was to pick without interfering, an offensive interference. Pick David, the linebacker, was man-to-man coverage. It was a well-called play, well executed. Tommy Herman up in the box. Hats off to you on that one, buddy.
And again, you guys brought up the wind earlier. With the win, Arnaud 12 of 16, 130 yards and 2 scores. Against the win, 6 of 10, no scores, 2 interceptions. Arnaud's 2nd touchdown pass today. He also has 1 rushing. Now, as Paul says, I ain't getting anywhere near that ball. Lets it go into the end zone. He was the one who fumbled the last time. Coming up on Saturday Night Football here on ABC. A good one in the Pac-10 as Arizona takes on Stanford. Some of you will see Missouri and Texas Tech. Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines on ABC tonight, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
Up Texas Tech, I started out running the football. See if Missouri fixed its problems last week.
Missouri obviously keeping an eye on this game. Lost to Nebraska last week, still has to play Iowa State. Winner of this game controls its own destiny in the Big 12 North to get to the Big 12 championship game. Here is Halou. And he's run out of bounds at the 27-yard line by David Sims with a pickup of 7 yards. Halou last week set the school record with 307 yards. And he's got 91 yards today. Cody Green, the Nebraska quarterback, because of the injured ankle to Taylor Martinez. He only went in for 1 play. That was when Green got banged up in the first quarter. Halou can't bust it to the outside. Dragged down by Taryn Benton. Loss of 2 on the play.
Taryn Benton, normally a corner, is playing a nickelback or an extra linebacker. Did a good job of holding his position. That's what Paul Rhodes was talking about coming out of the half. Gap integrity. Not chasing, but trusting that your defense will turn the ball back to you, the on-block player.
Looks like they're going to put it in Cody Green's hands to make a play. He had some key 3rd down conversions in the 3rd quarter, but in trouble here. Down he goes. Jake Knott there first. Nebraska's going to punt.
Nobody touched him, Grease. Came free. That's a miscommunication on the protection.
This Iowa State defense is playing way above the way they've played most of the year. Jake Knott, number 20, just blitzes inside. Nobody picks him up. Just a good call defensively.
Lends the deep man again. That punt into the wind, and Iowa State's going to have the ball at its 46-yard line. That's happened 3 times today where the Cyclones have started right around midfield. How about if you're Austin Arnaud? You've thrown a pick 6. You're playing in front of your hometown fans. Your dad played here. Your mom was an All-American volleyball player here. You're feeling horrible about things, and you bounce back with 2 touchdowns to get your team back in the game.
They beat Texas earlier in the year. Now they got a chance to beat Nebraska. That would be pretty special.
It's been a story of his career. This game wraps up his whole career. Inconsistent.
Only a 29-yard punt, and Robinson on 1st and 10 takes it into Nebraska territory to the 48-yard line.
He's a warrior, Robinson. He's a pure warrior. He's 5'9", and he's lucky to be 5'9". But he plays with heart, and he is clearly the leader of this Iowa State offense, not by words, but by actions.
Good kid. I liked him yesterday.
That's his 29th carry of the game. Here's number 30, losing yardage. Brought down by Courtney Osborne in the backfield. They lost 4 yards there.
Nebraska defensively just keeps attacking. They're going to do what they're going to do. They're going to line up and play man, and they're going to blitz you. That's been the game plan, at least for the Cyclones coming into this game. The Nebraska defense only blitzed 25% of the time. They changed their whole game plan.
We saw Taylor Martinez on the bike for Nebraska. He'd love to get in the game, but that ankle not allowing him to.
Single coverage deep. There's nobody in the middle of the field.
And the pass coming near side, just off the fingertips of Darius Darks. 4th down.
They had single coverage everywhere. There was a blitz. Just missed it. When you have the wind at your back, it's tough to judge how far and how easy to throw that ball.
Good job of protection by the Cyclone offensive line, giving him an opportunity to complete that pass.
True freshman Kirby Vanderkamp kicking with the wind at his back, and the wind bounces it into the end zone for a touchback. So Nebraska ball at the 20. Hey, college football fans, it's time to put your college on the map. Build your own campus from scratch with ESPNU College Town. Find your school, pick your buildings, recruit players. You can even challenge your friends across the country. More than 4 million users have started constructing their campus. Start yours at bethedean.com.
How do you challenge your friends in that game?
Who can build a better campus?
It's pretty subjective.
Well, based on your idea of making all the buildings football offices, it's probably not hard to beat you. Here's Halou, and Iowa State strings that play out. Gain of maybe 2 or 3. Tackle made by Michael O'Connell for Iowa State.
I'm going to have a class on play-by-play.
Wow. No. 2nd and 7. Bo Pelini frustrated at halftime. His team was down 10-7. They came roaring back, scored 17 straight points. But Iowa State with 2 touchdowns to get things tied again at 24. Halou out near the 28-yard line, couple of yards short of the first down. Patrick Neal got him down. You're Nebraska, you just thinking run the ball for the remaining 7 minutes and then go down and win the game?
Well, I'm just looking at the flags, Dave, and that wind, I definitely think the wind is playing a factor in Sean Watson, the offensive coordinator's play calling. I mean, he's playing the percentages and trusting that your bigs are better than the other guy's bigs.
When the strength is your running game, you stay with it. Even though Taylor Martinez is not out there, and that's a big part of their run game.
Martinez out with the ankle. Here's Green, who's listed as the 3rd-string quarterback going into today, and his pass bounces into Kyler Reed. 3 and out, Nebraska.
We had him open, Bob.
Yeah, you know, it's an easy completion, but you got the wind is there. It's always there. Today in this game, the wind has been there all day. It's been strong. It's been a big factor.
Chance for field position again. Punting into the wind hasn't been exactly a success.
This one a better kick, and it's fair caught by Lenz at the 35-yard line. Remember, Grant Mahoney kicked a 57-yard field goal in the first half. He has the leg from 60, and that might be what it comes down to. Well, the country can't wait for the CMA Awards with performances by the biggest stars in country music. Hosted by Brad Paisley and Carrie Underwood. Live Wednesday, November 10th at 7 Central on ABC. Ames, Iowa native Austin Arnaud, who's had a brilliant second half, saved the pick 6. Got a rushing touchdown and a game-tying touchdown pass here in the 4th quarter. Goes back to work, and he's out near the 39-yard line. Gets clocked there by Josh Williams and Anthony West.
That's a good decision by Arnaud to go down, knowing that he's not 100%. Get what you can get. You give yourself a manageable second down and put yourself in position for a manageable 3rd down. Smart football.
Arnaud, number 2 all-time at Iowa State in passing yards. Number 3 all-time in touchdown passes. And number 1 all-time in completion percentage.
Here they come.
And he almost threw a pick. That hit Gomes right in the gut, and he couldn't hang on.
Gomes has got 11 turnovers in his career. Number 7 to the left of your screen. That was, that was a bullet.
It's just interesting watching Bo Pelini, and I know he's heavily involved. I played with Bo. Bo was a teammate of mine. And the aggressiveness of the defense in this part of the game, they have guys within 8 yards of the line of scrimmage. They're lining them up, getting in their face, and challenging man-to-man.
Arnaud with time, and a defender, Gomes, fell down, and it's a first down catch by Colin Franklin.
That's a size matchup. That's the problem. I was looking for that all day. Gomes is a tough kid, but when you're 6'5", use that big body like a basketball player and get position. Exactly what Franklin did.
Gomes is 6 foot, 200 pounds. Franklin 6'5" and 250.
Last year he dropped 20 pounds. He got the H1N1 virus, got really sick. But this year, a senior from Simi Valley, California, having a terrific season. Couple of yards maybe for Robinson on first down. Levante David there again, along with Thaddeus Randall for Nebraska. We're near the 5-minute mark. Iowa State has all of its timeouts remaining. Tie game here in Ames.
If I'm Iowa State, I'm going tick, tick, tick on that play clock. I want that 5:14 to keep going faster and faster and faster to keep Nebraska away from that football.
You'd think they have to get about 10 more yards for Mahoney to have a shot. Pass play, and Franklin again. He gets away from Gomes after the catch. And inside the 40-yard line.
Bob, we've been talking about it all day. Yep. Get him involved in the offense. It's a matter of time when he's your leading receiver coming in the game with 37 catches. Again, it's just the size. Gomes has a problem working around that big body.
Career-wise, he came in with 70 catches, 4 for touchdowns. You got to get him the ball.
From the 38 of Nebraska, here's Arnaud. He gets 3, tackled by Gomes at the 45, or at the 35 rather, 2nd and 7.
So you would say they're in field position now, or field goal position now, right?
They're in field goal range now, but you know, we'd like to have it a lot closer.
Again, he made a 57-yarder, Mahoney did. Last year kicked 3 field goals of 50 yards or more. And he's got the wind at his back. He also missed a 49-yarder in the first half.
Just look at the box for Nebraska, how tight everybody is. You know what they're playing now.
We'll see if they let Arnaud throw it. They will. And he's in trouble. And he's going down. Sacked by Cameron Meredith. Pierre Allen there as well. So now it is 3rd down and long. And right now it'd be about a 54-yard field goal.
I still think they're snapping the ball with too much time left on that play clock.
You see they have to get to about the 28-yard line to get the first down. Arnaud's pass is through the hands of Darius Reynolds. Late in the second quarter, Grant Mahoney, who's coming on the field now, booted a 57-yard field goal just moments after missing a 49-yarder. That made it 10-7. He's out there now to try a 55-yard field goal to give Iowa State the lead. And this one misses wide right. So Nebraska going to have great field position. 2 timeouts, 3:19 left.
Not sure if that was the best of holds. The snap was a little low.
We welcome those of you watching the Washington-Oregon game. Nebraska and Iowa State tied at 24. Rex Burkhead, who's played a lot at the Wildcat quarterback position, gets about 5 yards. Dave Pasch with Bob Greasy, Chris Spielman, Quint Kesnick down on the field. Taylor Martinez, the outstanding redshirt freshman quarterback for Nebraska, has played only 1 play, did not start because of an ankle injury. Zach Lee, who was the backup last week, has a sore arm, so Cody Green, the number 3 quarterback, at least coming into today, started, and he's out there right now on 2nd down and 5. Going to hand it off to Roy Helu, who last week ran for over 300 yards. Gets nothing here. David Sims making the play. It's going to bring up third down.
And that's the difference between last week when Roy Helu was going nuts on Missouri, was that the angles that the Missouri safety was taking. Right here, David Sims has had a big game, solid tackler, smart player, and not getting beat to the corner and taking proper angles so he can keep up with the speed of Helu Jr.
And give credit to that defensive line, Iowa State, and those two inside linebackers, Knott and Klein.
Got a timeout on the field. One timeout remaining for Nebraska. Big 3rd down and 3 for the Cornhuskers when we come back. 2:16 remaining in the 4th. Number 7, Nebraska, tied with Iowa State at 24. The Cornhuskers scored first, a 12-play drive, all run plays. Roy Helu Jr. with the touchdown, and then an interception return for a score by Cassidy. It was 24-10 Nebraska, but 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns by Iowa State. Here was the touchdown by Burkhead that put Nebraska up by 2 scores. Then a rushing touchdown by Iowa State quarterback Austin Arnaud, and that passing touchdown you just saw to Robinson tied the game to 24. Time of possession favoring Iowa State. They've run 18 more plays than Nebraska. 3rd down and 3 for the Cornhuskers. They were stuffed on 3rd and 2 on their last possession, and they get this one as Burkhead collides with David Sims and picks up the Nebraska 1st down.
Wow, that's right there. Tough on tough. Both guys low in leverage. David Sims comes up and actually hits Burkhead behind the 1st down marker, but Burkhead keeps his legs driving to keep the drive alive. Nebraska had to burn a timeout, Dave, because they had 12 men in the huddle, which takes them down, as you can see on your screen, to 1 left.
Second time Nebraska has had problems with substitution. Got flagged for illegal substitution in the 1st quarter. Burkhead, no running room. Lost yardage and the clock moving. Next play will be run with about a minute to go. And again, Henry, the field goal kicker for Nebraska, would be kicking into the wind.
Warm-ups, I thought he was good from around 42 to 45 yards into that wind. He does have a strong leg. It's a nice wind happening from the south to the north.
As long this year is 52. Green gonna keep and gets to the 46-yard line. Again, Nebraska with 1 timeout left, running a lot of clock here. Do they not trust Green to throw the ball?
This is a big play Nebraska offense, but it's a big play running Nebraska offense. Last week we showed 4 runs of over 50 yards.
Bo Pelini just called his final timeout. We'll see if they put it in the hands of Green to throw the ball on 3rd and 6 when we come back.
1-14.
Robert looks like Jopa's going to get his 400th win. Penn State on top of Northwestern 35-21. Here we're tied at 24.
Kyler Reed, they like him on 3rd downs.
3rd and 6, 4 3rd down conversions, passing by Green. And here his pass is broken up by a diving Leonard Johnson.
How about that, Chris? An all-out blitz. Man coverage in the secondary, almost picked off.
And he had Kyler Reed wide open in the flat. He did.
I'm watching your guy.
It's a nice job by Leonard Johnson. Cutting underneath, making a good play, keeping his hands away, and swatting the ball down.
And Green realized he didn't have a lot of time to throw because of the blitz.
Iowa State's got to get guys off the field. They almost got called for an illegal substitution penalty themselves. And that punt into the wind, but nonetheless, Henry boots it into the end zone. So Iowa State's going to have the ball at its 20 with 3 timeouts remaining and 40 seconds left. Tied at 24 in Ames. Austin Arnaud, who bounced back from an interception return for a touchdown to get Iowa State tied with Nebraska, could possibly lead them down to victory for the 2nd straight year against the Cornhuskers. They've got the ball at their 20, 3 timeouts remaining. If you're Paul Rhodes, guys, are you conservative here because Arnaud has turned the ball over and did it in his own territory earlier in the game? Or do you say, you know what, we're playing Nebraska, we may not get this opportunity again?
I think he's going to play conservative, and I can understand that because of the field position. If somehow they were able to get the ball on the 30, maybe you might go for it a little bit. The 20 is probably getting a little bit nervous.
Well, Iowa State has the ball, but Nebraska has the field position. I mean, if they would drop the ball, Nebraska could take over and kick a field goal and win the ball game. So
Nebraska can't stop the clock, so we're going to overtime here in Ames, tied at 24. And again, the wind moving right to left, so could impact who wants the ball first and who would rather choose which way to go.
Who's got the better field goal kicker? Nebraska.
Well, Mahoney, though, a lot of his attempts have been long field goals. Because they hadn't had a lot of opportunities to kick short ones this year.
The whole game, all the scoring has happened down to the left side, downwind.
Tied at 24. Nebraska 7th in the BCS standings. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC will return after this message and a word from our overtime here in Ames, Iowa. Cyclones trying to knock off Nebraska for the second straight year. The winner of the coin toss chooses either to be on offense or defense. You can't defer the choice here in overtime. Here's Greg
Iowa
Burks, the
State won
referee.
the toss and chose to play defense. Nebraska chose to play on the south end of the field.
So Nebraska will be on offense first, and if there are any field goals, they'll be into the wind.
Yeah, this is the first time in a long time that anybody has played down at this end of the field. And any field goals that are kicked in the first overtime will be kicked into the wind.
Here are the rules for overtime. We already talked and got the coin toss out of the way. Each team gets one possession from the 25-yard line per overtime till the winner is decided. And once you get to the third overtime, if you do, you must go for two. And here's a look at what things were like at about 2 o'clock local time. Pre-game, kicking field goals into the wind. Rex Burkhead is in at quarterback to run the Wildcat on first down. And Burkhead has a lane cut down at the 19-yard line. Which team do you guys think has the advantage, or does neither team have the advantage here in overtime?
Well, I think Nebraska has the advantage as far as their ability to run the football into the wind. That's where they've had the most success, and a lot of success out of that last formation we just saw with Burkhead basically running the spread option.
Nebraska chose to go at this end into the wind, knowing that they don't have a lot of strong passing game, and running doesn't affect by the wind.
Here's Burkhead trying to get outside, tripped up but keeps his feet, and Burkhead scores. Touchdown, Nebraska. Well, the injury to Taylor Martinez, Cody Green starting at quarterback, and Burkhead has gotten a lot of work today. That's his second touchdown.
Well, David Sims has been able to come up and make the play all day on this, and we'll see what happens to him right here. Just gets outrun, then overruns the play, and a good job of McMichael blocking two guys, pushing Sims past him for the 6 points.
Now with the win, the point after could be interesting.
Mike McNeil, number 44.
Here's Henry to try to give Nebraska a 7-point lead. And you see the ball moving all over the place, but he kicks it through. So Iowa State needs a touchdown and the extra point to send it to a second overtime.
Burkhead, he's 130 yards now on 20 carries.
And here comes Ames, Iowa native Austin Arnott. One of his biggest games in his career. He was unable to play last year because of injury in Lincoln when Iowa State won that game. He did help beat Texas on the road and trying to keep his team alive here in overtime against Nebraska. Robinson. And a good play there by Osborne to bring him down after a gain of a couple.
There's pressure on the offense here now. You have to get into the end zone or you lose the ball game.
Iowa State came storming back from 14 down in the fourth quarter to tie the game and send it to OT. Quarterback draw, big running lane, Arnaud inside the 10-yard line. It'll be first and goal, Cyclones.
Big play by the quarterback. Inconsistent coming into the ball game. This is just a really good play. Made it look like a pass. Everybody dropped back. The lanes opened up. That's a huge play for Iowa State.
Meanwhile, the center, Ben Lamock, and the quarterback, Austin Arnaud, are both hobbling. Arnaud got hurt in the first half, got bent over backwards and came back into the game. Lamock, who missed last week because of a knee injury, has tried to fight and play through it today.
And Alex Alvarez, the left guard, now moves to center, and this is without any snaps. Well, just something to be aware of. He's got to get a feel for that football in his hand.
First down and goal from the 9. Arnaud to throw, end zone, touchdown, Jake Williams.
That's the second time today they scored on the back shoulder fade. They go right back to it, working on number 5, West. And Jake Williams does a great job of timing, not showing it till late. Ball's perfectly placed on the 3. Good job of going up, snagging it with his hands, and getting it away from the defender's hands.
Not that big. He's only 6'2". West is 6 feet. Just has good timing and good hands.
Now here's Mahoney for the point after to try to send it to a second overtime. And it's a fake! And it's intercepted! Nebraska wins! Paul Rhodes rolled the dice, went with the fake extra point, and failed.
He was open, guys.
He had it, and the wind caught the ball. He had him open. He tried to lob it, and the wind allowed it to hang up there for the interception.
Daniel Kuhl is the holder, going for the tight end Colin Franklin.
Oh boy.
And Haig stepped in front and picked it off.
See Colin Franklin open in the corner of the end zone, and he knows it as soon as he threw it that he can't believe he underthrew the ball, thrown into the wind. I'll tell you, it's a good call. I like the call.
I do too. I do too.
Let's go down to Quinn Kesnick.
Coach, how do you best describe that last play?
Oh, well, it was like the rest of the game. It was a crazy game. You know, I mean, there was a lot of stuff that went on, and you know, it came down to making plays at the end, and it was a hell of a football game.
You're up 24-17. Next thing you know, things turn 24-24. What was going on in your mind?
I felt like we were in control, and then we got sloppy tackling on the one drive. Then we put the ball on the ground, and on the road you can't do that. We lost some momentum. It just didn't. You know, but we did enough things in the end to win the game. We didn't play our best football. You know, you got to win a couple games like this, and we did today.
Adversity hits in November. Taylor Martinez played one play today. How do you best describe what Cody was able to do at quarterback?
Well, we were down. We were short on a couple where, you know, we were out, and we missed a couple of our guys. And obviously our quarterback, our starting corner, and a couple other guys. But, you know, you got to find a way to win. We did that today, and we'll move on to the next one.
You did that. Congratulations, Coach.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Big 12 championship hopes remain, and who knows? Nebraska's still in the hunt as a one-loss team for a BCS championship berth. 31-30, Nebraska wins in overtime. For Bob Gracie, Chris Spielman, Quinn Kesnick, our entire crew, I'm Dave Pasch. Nebraska, 7th in the BCS standings, survives in overtime by a point. Now to our Times Square studio, John Saunders and Jesse Palmer.